Welcome again, everyone. I think this is episode 9.
It is. It is indeed. And we're getting traction too.
We're pumping them out.
No, well, and especially with all the people that are leaving comments. Thank you. We encourage it. And also for our podcast listeners, which we're definitely getting some traction as well with people listening on the podcast as well as YouTube. If they want to leave a comment or get in touch with us, it is the prophecy at outlook.com.au, just to make that clear. And
everyone had a good Easter.
Yes, happy Easter to everyone. I had a good Easter. How did your Easter go?
Good, as you can see. Lots of Easter eggs, a lot of
Can
desserts.
you eat these?
Hey, yeah. You have to, it's plastic.
I've got a whole arsenal of shit here to throw at you, mate.
These are the photos that I saved for the airport. You know, so before they say Ibrahim, do you know what I mean? Come here to the search room, Arab, this and that. And I show them my photos with the Easter eggs. I'm like, well, I'm nice. So, you know, I put myself out there on episode 6
With
talking about.
don't let you drive any mum's cars.
Well, yeah, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm still going to get arrested for that shit or what, but it'll be funny. Even I think even the cops will have a laugh. So
Yeah.
fucking
You did
hope
what?
So, and then talking about you know, my first intimate freaking Aussie chick in Australia. That was,
I love you, Jenny.
What about you, mate?
What about me?
your first girl? What happened there?
Oh, yeah.
Or first bloke to say?
Yeah, but you fucking
Did he
would,
take it
didn't you?
easy on you?
My first girl. Actually, well, you know, I've always had plenty of girlfriends, man. But so like, I remember. Actually, I've got a funny story about that. I used to sell newspapers, right?
Okay.
And so back in the day, obviously, there's no mobile phones or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Smoke signals.
yeah, smoke
Two
signals.
smoke
yeah.
signals
Yeah,
blowing.
when the street
Three
lights come
smoke
on.
signals. It's
We even
alright.
had to be home before the fucking street lights turned on.
Oh, wow.
Mum was strict. Yeah, she worried. But I was out selling
I would
newspapers.
worry
I
too
didn't
if
even.
I had a son like you. You know that.
What's that, buddy?
I would worry too if I had a son like you.
Yeah, I'd expect you to. Don't worry. But I didn't even sell my newspapers. So I'm out in this park kissing this girl in the bushes, right?
Yeah.
And I knew it was getting late. I had to be home at a certain time, and I was well and truly past that. So of course, mum and dad are worried. So back then, actually, my brother still owns this car, a hatchback Tirana V8.
Oh my god, that red one.
Yeah, man.
Bullshit.
I swear to God. So anyway,
Oh,
that's
no.
when Dad
This
just
is like out of an episode. Everybody loves Raymond.
So anyway, I finally made it back home, and Mum's like, "Where have you been? You know, this that, and the other." And I was like, I didn't know what to say, so I told Mum, I come clean. I said, "Well, I was selling newspapers, and there's this chick and rah." She goes, "Fucking, the whole boy's gonna kill you." Then I could just hear this V8 man just come tearing through the back streets and went, "Oh, my heart has sunk." Right, I go, "That's Dad. I'm dead as right." So then I thought, well, I'll do the right thing. So I walked out onto the street, and there comes Dad with Adam in the car around the corner sideways. As soon as he's coming in the driveway, the look on Dad's face is like, "You're
Not enough.
fucked."
Your heart is about to stop, and he's making like out of a Hollywood movie. Like, I'm coming to kill you. It goes,
Yeah.
This was really like a nightmare, Dad.
Yeah, I was dead.
See, me, usually I'm smarter, right? I would know that's going to happen. Before anything, bro, I'll be in the bedroom putting 2 tracksuits underneath my jeans, ready for the belt.
No, man, we had to drop our DAX.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, I
bare
never
ass.
understood that shit, man. What is it with this fucking sexual bullshit in Australia?
What? What was sexual?
Like, even if someone tells my son, like at school, "Oh, drop your dax, I'm going to smack you on the bum." What is that? I wish my dad did that. It was like fucking kinky. This guy didn't wait, mate.
Yeah, Dad didn't fuck around with us as kids, mate. We used to cop it big time.
So you copped it.
Yeah, massively.
Was it worth it?
I guess so. I remember kissing the girl more than I do getting hit.
Okay, well, that's good. And that's what you did.
What's
Kiss.
that?
You just kissed.
Yeah, I was only a kid. I was only like 10, 11 years old.
10, 11.
Yeah, selling newspapers. I used to go to the local shops and sell newspapers there.
Who knew? Selling newspapers
And then,
was hot.
and then, I was an entrepreneur.
Oh shit, he's the newspaper boy.
So then I used to walk
checking
around to all the local shops there, to all the local people that used to buy the paper off me. So, you know, grab the 25 cents or whatever it was back in those days. But I used to always leave the pizza bar to last because they used to have arcade games in there.
Ah.
Yeah. So I used to always just pump 20s, man, one after the other into this arcade Galaxy or Galactica or whatever it was. So, but I was always shortchanged in my when it come time to give the bloke all the money for the newspapers, I'd always shortchange myself. And Mum would sit there and go, "You've been playing those fucking machines again, haven't you?" So she has to dive into a purse and make up the money that I spent and give it to the guy. Yeah.
Oh,
But that was good times, actually. I loved it.
you still remember her name?
Nah, man.
Really?
I remember.
It must have not left an impression then.
Nah, I was only a kid. Like I said, I've had plenty of girlfriends, dude. More than I can remember. But
Stud Paulie.
not really. I just can't keep a relationship. I'm fucked at them.
Really?
But dude, I'm single, right?
Yeah, it means you probably get bored quick. That's why.
No, I don't know. Those days. Well, let's not go down that path.
Why? We're here.
All right. Let's
Keep
do it.
going.
Let's get the truth out. Let's get the truth out.
Go on.
Well, I don't think I get bored easy. I was just back in the day. I was just too crazy. You know, when you talk about all your stories about your drugs and everything else. I mean, growing up for us in the 90s and the 2000s, I mean, drugs was huge, man. It was. That's when the rave scene started and everything else, and I was big in that as well.
But it wasn't the drugs that we know today, right? It was, what is it? Weed, LSD, and you know.
Yeah. So then pills, ecstasy as well, MDMA, and of course amphetamines have been around ever since, and that was my go-to all the time. I loved it.
Wow.
Yeah. Even up until bloody a few years back,
Fucking hell.
I was still on it hard. That's what. And you know what? My last two good relationships that I had, that's how I fucked them. Drugs,
Where were you, man?
drugs
You've
and
been a
alcohol.
fucking good customer to me. I never knew that.
Yeah, so you know it's funny because you grew up in West Suburbs. I grew up in West Suburbs. Well, I went to high school with some of the boys that used to knock around with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we must have just crossed paths, and it's funny too because a few other people that I sort of met later on in life, they'd mention this person or that person. Oh, fuck, I knew them.
I must have been in Yatla when you were Port Augusta. Different parts.
You know what? I mean, I got locked up plenty of times, but I never went to jail. But I would have spent fucking hell, man, at least a month plus in lockup over the years.
Fucking hard times.
Hard times, mate.
You're what we call a backpacker. We tell
I
you
was a full backpacker.
don't even fold your sheets out on bed.
Yeah, but see,
Keep them in a bag.
I never hung around for trouble, mate. If I knew the trouble was coming, or caused it, I was gone.
Smart boy.
Yeah, I always made sure all the lights worked on my car. Everything was always stashed underneath the instrument cluster. I had this little bag with rare earth magnets in it, and that used to always go up in the back into the dashboard. Click, wow. And that was it. So if they searched the car, they'd never find anything. Even in the boot, the boot was a good one. So used to put it. When you open up your boot, you sort of got those little holes in there between the panel and the frame of the boot. So you used to just stick it in there. So the cops open up the boot, they're lifting up the boot like that, and they're looking around searching in the boot, but they never check the lid. Stuff like that. Make sure always made sure the lights worked on the car. Never give these idiots. Well, I shouldn't say the idiots, but I was the idiot. But never give them a reason to pull you over. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, we've had these cops stop by when we're all running amok at a park at Croydon. And he goes, "What do you got there?" And he grabs the fucking pipe of weed and he gets my tin. And he goes, "Let's see what you're smoking, if it's any good." And he packed one and he fucking had a toke. With his uniform on, right? And he started chit-chatting the chicks that we were like, "What's going on here? Is this guy?" No shit, man.
I remember once we got raided by the cops. It's a long story. I'll tell the story. We had there was apparently someone going around the streets. I was living in Prospect too, mind you, so not far from here. And there was
giving up my address, but anyway, keep going.
What address?
Nothing.
Who says we're in Prospect?
You just did, you.
So anyway, apparently there was a bloke going around shooting dogs that were barking. I don't know if
Shooting what?
dogs that were barking. He just flipped out, right? So
His name is not Mutson by any chance.
I would not have a clue, man. I've got no idea.
Okay, keep going.
But anyway, we were growing dope back in those days. We had a big spare room out the back of the house, right?
Yeah.
And we had like 10 plants in there. Yeah. But our neighbour was a lawyer. I won't drop his name, but he was a good bloke. Yeah. He used to always score of us all the time. Right? True story, mate. Yeah. So anyway, we had a dog, but our neighbour didn't have a dog, the lawyer. And he had a plant growing out the back as well. And so did we. We had like the mother plant that we were taking clones. You're going.
Well, back then you were allowed to do 9 plants were the fine on the spot.
It changed all the time, mate.
It changed, but I remember when I came here, 96, the laws were 9 plants, and it was a fine on the spot. And to my memory, I think $170 fine was on us, which was a big deal back in the 90s. You know, we could never do that shit because, you know, my dad is straight as you get with that shit.
Yeah. Well, so were my parents, mate. They hated it. They fucking hated it.
It's funny, bro, how our parents were like that.
Different generation, though, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, in the 60s and 70s, it was more big in America, I guess, for smoking bongs and taking LSD. Didn't really hit here back then. Do you know what I mean? But getting back to the story, the cops went and knocked on our door. They wanted to search the backyard, but they didn't want to go in the backyard because of the dog. Cops don't like dogs.
Did you tell them I don't want to answer questions without my lawyer?
No.
Open his window?
Yeah. Well, actually, so they've gone to see the lawyer, right? And he didn't want him to go in the backyard, and he didn't want to tell him why. Yeah. I'm sure he would have given him some legal jargon.
Yeah.
But so what's happened is they've gone over to the fences behind us, and then started looking over the fence with the torches. And of course, they've seen his plant. Yeah. And they've seen ours, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we got raided. All we got was a fine, but I had guns in the house too. I was a bad boy. Yeah, but one of the guns, so all my guns were stashed under my bed, and all the bullets are on top of the cupboard, right, in my bedroom. And so they raided the house, and they found the slug gun in the laundry, because we used to just sit out there. We used to sit in the back, inside the house, in the back door, and just shoot cans and bottles out the back with a slug gun, right?
Good old Adelaide, right?
Yeah. So it would have been, well, I shit myself, because my mate rang me at work and says, we've just been raided, everything else. I said to my boss, I was pretty close to my boss. I said, look, man, this is what's happened. I said, I've got to go. And he goes, yeah, you better get home. So I shot back home. The first thing, man, I did was looked under my bed and went, oh, fuck, it's still there. Hand on top of the cupboard like this, going, oh, they're still there. And then my mate's gone, they're taking the slug gun. I'm going, fuck, that's the least of my problems, man. I looked inside the hydro room. Oh, they've taken everything, right?
No.
Yeah, man. And even our neighbour got done as well. So it would have been about 2 weeks later, I hear a knock on the door. So it was on like a Saturday or Sunday. Hear a knock on the door. So I'm thinking, who the hell's this man? So I go out there, open up the door. I'm standing in my jocks, right? Because I just thought it would have been a friend or someone, do you know what I mean? Girlfriend or whoever. And it's 2 coppers, a Sheila and a bloke. And I'm standing there in my jocks. Yeah. And they go, well, look, we marijuana and everything else, and we hear about the gun. And I went, what gun? What fucking gun? And they went, oh, this air rifle. And I went, air rifle? And like, fucking hell, man. Yeah, and... Because the gun industry's already come through with a Martin Bryant thing and Port Arthur. Yeah. So, mate, it doesn't matter. It could be a cat gun, mate. They're taking it really seriously. Bryant. Yeah, and I'm like, man, I said...
Was it Mark Bryan?
Martin Bryant.
Martin Bryan. Yeah. See, if his name was Muhammad Ahmad Abdullah, it would have been terrorism, right?
Yeah, the terrorism laws would have come in. Don't get me started about that.
But he had a white name, so he's mentally ill, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah. So anyway... They were on to me about this slug gun, and I laughed at them and then slammed the door in their face, right? Yeah. And about 2 seconds later, and I'm like, oh my God, man. So I opened up the door again, and it's like, are we going to destroy this gun and this, that, and the other, and you could be charged and all the rest of it? I'm like, look, dude, I don't give a fuck what you do with the gun. Keep it, give it to your kids. I don't care, man. Just leave me the fuck alone. I slammed the door in their face. You know what? I never heard a thing about it again. Yeah, done and dusted.
See, that's when they had fuck all power, and they couldn't just come in under the new laws. So they needed a warrant to come into your house. This would have been a couple of bored fucking cops thinking, oh yeah, we'll go fuck around with this little shit. We'll get something out of him.
They got nothing out of me, mate.
Good boy, mate. Slam the door.
Yeah, straight in their face. Never heard from him again.
Wow.
That's just one story.
I don't know how your girlfriend turned to a fucking slug gun, but we're talking about your relationships.
No, you talking about it.
I asked you, mate. I'll put myself out there.
Come on. Yeah. Kissing girls.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So actually my first real girlfriend, I won't say her name.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, let's just call her Bob. So, like, me and Bob were together for years, and she was 4 years younger than me, and she was a sexy young thing. But you know what ended up was it was actually, to be quite honest, my dad hated her, didn't like her. Yeah, man.
He was just jealous.
Yeah, no, I doubt it. It could have been. When I see you next, Dad, I'm going to ask you. No, Dad didn't like her, and. So then we broke up, and then... I
don't think your dad liked any of your girls.
No, well...
Except for one.
Well, my next girlfriend after that, we actually got engaged.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've been engaged 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, see, no good at relationships, bro. Drugs and alcohol always fucked every single one of them, pretty much.
Really?
Yep.
But you talk to people. You tell me, who the fuck do you know that tell you, I don't drink, I don't do drugs? I go, you know what? I think you're fucking. How long do you get to know these people for? You only know them for a couple of weeks and you move on. I mean, if you you want some excitement, you want some stories, someone that's been on the bad side.
Yeah, but see, I always take things next level, though, dude. You know me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So even when it was come to drinking and drugs, like I didn't fuck about.
No, I was like,
I was always drinking.
Fucking, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? And it's the same with doing the turnaround as well. I didn't fuck about with that either. I thought, no, I'm doing it properly this time. So I quit everything in one day. Done. I'm done. I reckon I've drank enough fucking piss for 2 people in their lifetimes.
Wow.
I'm done. Think about all the. You know what? It's not so much the hurt I caused myself. It's the hurt that I've caused the other people that still bothers me. Makes partners, my parents, my brother even. He goes, if I find out you've touched that fucking shit again, mate, I'll fucking kill you.
It's hard, with the family, I get it, it's hard. Friends, whatever, there's a lot of laughs. You don't have burdens behind your shoulders. You don't feel guilt. You're obviously just there for the fun, but it's when it comes to a brother, mum, dad, sister, you actually feel embarrassed, because you don't want to humiliate yourself. You always want to have a character, to represent in front of your family. It's like you've got what's the word to it? You've got standards.
Yeah.
Towards your family.
Yeah, fucking oath.
And it's a good
Mum
thing.
even said it to me once. She goes, "Why are you running our name through the mud for?"
Yeah, it's a good thing.
And
because
the
if you didn't have
dropped.
that,
Yeah.
what held you back? Nothing, right?
No, fuck all, mate.
So
It was all for a good time, not a long time. I didn't give a fuck. I did not care about anything, dude, just myself. When I was going to get on it next.
maybe lucky we didn't fucking meet. You know that?
Yeah, 100%. I think that all the time, dude. Yeah, it could have been a disaster. We wouldn't be doing fucking podcasts, I tell you what. We'd be sharing a bloody jail cell somewhere, man.
You reckon?
No, they'd be keeping us apart for sure.
You would have been under the bed, cunt.
Fuck
that.
you.
I'll take all your mangarin noodles.
But I think I said this once before in the podcast that there's got to be a certain time in your life when the penny drops and you go, man, I'm done. I'm 46 now, and when is it that? Well, you know what? I'm lucky. I never had to sell any of my cars. I never lost my house or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I never got that far. Look, I remember even when I was dealing, one thing that used to shit me off was all the fuckwits that you had to put up with. You know what I mean? That used to turn me off of it. Can I get credit, please, mate? It's like, no. Oh, come on, man. I fucking. It's like, dude, are you for real, man? This is not fucking, no, mate. But, the idiots you have to put up with as well. None of it's worth it, man. And look what happens. Nothing good comes from it either. I even had the same conversation with my son. He's only young and they're the same. They're going down the same roads we are. But I keep saying to him, dude, I said, look at all the people that still do drugs now and look where their lives are. And I said, look at all the other people that ever got big from drugs, you know what I mean? And they make TV series out of them now because the cops got them, everything else, and their so-called empire folded. Nothing good comes from drugs, man. Nothing.
No, look, obviously, bro, we know, but you know what fucks me, man? It's how resistant the human body is. Like, seriously, how resistant is it?
Yeah.
You would think, honestly, like, you'll see someone that's fully cracked out and you think, man, this guy's got literally a couple of weeks and he's 7 foot under. But how much can the human body take? It's unbelievable, honestly, unbelievable. You see him next year, the year after, and the year so on, and then you'll hear of someone that's clean skin, doesn't drink, and heart attack.
Dude, man, can I tell you some stories? All right, I'll tell you one. I remember.
It's like, it couldn't have happened, this worst scenario couldn't have happened to that fucking crackhead. It had to happen to this good person.
I know 2 people that died of heart attacks from taking gear. One was probably about maybe 5 years ago now. He was in his 50s. He used to have this little thing on his key ring. He'd spin it, it would reload and straight to the nostril, and that was it.
Shit.
Yeah, he'd always have it on him, mate, 24/7. He'd just be a little turn, and that was it. He'd have a sniff. But another bloke, he was injecting it, and he was in his shed, took a hit, and then come out of his shed, sweating like a pig, and he was literally going, like this, and his wife reckons he just stood at the door and just went, poof, and that was it, gone.
That's scary.
Straight
shit,
on the
man.
spot. And he was in his mid to late 20s.
See, I thank God, man. I never went down the path of the whole, methamphetamine track and any of that hardcore drugs. I didn't need it, man. I was like, fucking, I'm a couple of beers, Britney Spears. After a couple of beers, I'm fucking, woo. That's all I needed for party. So, thank God I never went down that track.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love my sleep, right? And I love my food. Hence why I did like, maybe why I liked, weed back in the day. And that sort of kept me away from all that other fast stuff. Because, anything that fucks with my sleep and food, I would kill, It was fun watching, people on it for 5-10 minutes. After that, you just want to slap them in the fucking face and just shut the fuck up,
Yeah. I'm hearing you there.
Well, that's about it. Dude, sometimes I used to pretend that I'm drunk because I was just a natural high. Cunts are doing shotties. I used to pretend that I'm drunk and I'll just fill up the fucking shotties with water and keep smashing it and acting drunk, rolling around. It was more fun than actually drinking. Watching people off tap while you're straight, I think, is 10 times more fun than being amongst it all.
It's annoying.
Of what?
It annoys me. A lot of the people now that I know, they come up, catch up for barbecue or whatever. As soon as those people starting to get pissy and all the rest of it, and you know what I mean, and it gets annoying for me. I'm out. Even my last Christmas show.
Seeing it when you're straight is different, right? See, I used to go to, get forced, my arm twisted to go to clubs back in the day, and because I was straight, all I could see is how disgusting it is. You could fucking smell vomit in the clubs.
You still do, mate.
The floor is so sticky because of people spilling their drinks. And when people come right up to your shoulder, because the music is so freaking loud and they're spitting and talking with their alcohol breath on your shoulder. And it's also dark, so people don't know. They have to be off tap to enjoy that disgusting scene, So I don't get... I think, I urge everyone to go to those clubs straight just to see the realism of it, and how disgusting it literally is. I guess after a few drinks, you think every girl looks fucking good in the club when it's dark and she's got, 2 coats of fucking paint job at her face.
And the clear.
And a clear coat, fucking name it. But because I was straight, I could see straight through that, and I think it just put me off of drugs and alcohol because I could see it for real what it is.
I used to get Saturday Night Fever, mate. I'd literally be getting the shakes. Couldn't wait to get on it and fucking get in there.
I was a cruise, I was friends with a couple of good lads, and we all, seriously, just alcohol-free, drug-free. But we're fucking funny cunts, man. We're young, and troublemakers.
Yeah.
That was all fun. And it was good, right? Because
actually, one lad I used to go to high school with, him and his cousin got shot dead at used to be the end of Hiney, the west end of Hiney Street there. I can't think of the fucking name of the joint now.
Rio's.
And the west end. So as soon as you turned onto Hiney Street where Macca's is, it's just a bit further up on the right hand side there. Oh, Rio's? Was it Rio's?
It's Rio's.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be, dude, yeah.
That was a hectic club.
Yeah, him and his mate got shot in the head.
In the head?
Boom, gone. 22 rifle, got them both. They got the bloke. It was all over a racist dispute as well. Ron someone or other, I can't think of his last name, and his cousin both got killed.
See,
hectic.
I think, honestly, bro, guns in the wrong hands, especially, I believe a gun in a coward's hands is a lot more dangerous than a gun in, in someone that's got courage.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say, most of these police officers that just aim to kill, I think, honestly, 70% of them are fucking cowards. Because, you only shoot when you're threatened, right? The last thing you want to do is take somebody's life. So a pistol should only come out as a last solution. You know, you have a fucking taser, you got pepper spray. He's unarmed. Even if he's got a fucking knife.
A knife. Shoot him in the leg.
Shoot him in the leg, mate. You know? Taser him. You're in the fuck... You're in the business, mate. You're in the business as a police officer. You're in the business to face danger. You should be trained, okay, to shoot accurately. Why are you going for the fucking...
I used to own one of those handguns that they use. Probably shouldn't be saying that because I don't have a license. I used to own one of their handguns, but you couldn't hit the side of a barn door with the fucking things.
No?
No, inaccurate as hell, man. Unless they're like right up close, say maybe 10, 15 metres max.
Yeah.
You want to be a good fucking shot.
Well, they shouldn't be on the fucking, you know, on the road with their police cars with guns if they can't handle a gun.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this once before, that the training that the police officers have these days aren't sufficient enough, I don't think.
No, they want them to be able to obviously type a lot faster than they can provoke a riot or how to handle, you know, a dispute. So go figure, man.
You know, twice I got let off DUI.
How?
I'll tell you exactly how, because I asked him. It was a
sore knees.
Yeah, I had to ask. I said, "Why you let me off for?" They actually hopped in my car and drove my car home for me. She gave me a 20-minute lecture at my front door about drink driving. Right? I was actually worried about her hopping.
She?
Yeah, it was a bloke and a
Must have
Sheila.
liked
Oh, well, yeah, maybe. But well, they thought I was funny because it's a long story. But anyway, they and I said, I asked, "Why you let me off for?" And they go, "End of the shift, we don't want to do the paperwork." Swear to God, man.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I didn't hurt anyone. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And they go, I said, because I asked her, I said, "What you pulled me over for?" And they're going, "You're going pretty quick around that roundabout, weren't you?" And I said, "Well, 60 is the speed limit, isn't it?" And they're just looking at me, shaking their heads. "Blow in this, can you please?" And I thought, "Oh, fuck, I'm going here." And I was too. I blew .117. So I was pissed.
Shit, how old were you?
I was 21.
Well, that's not pissed for 21. Fuck. Could have taken it up a notch.
Oh, man, I was only about 500 metres from home. I was Devo.
Always
I
happens,
almost made it.
Always happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was the next one? That's right, the Hindley Street McDonald's, what I was just saying. I was only young, man. I was only about 18 years old and just fixed the car up myself, got it on the road, unregistered, with a mate of mine. So I thought, fuck, let's just take it for a drive, yeah? And this minute, cops pull us over. I've got a beer in between my legs, right? I've handed it straight to my mate. Said, "Oh, cool, you better take this." And then when the cops looked at me, I said, "What'd you pull me over for?" And he goes, "Oh, your mate was hanging out the window." And I looked at my mate, and I'm like, he's like, "No, I fucking wasn't." And he goes, he looks in the car with a torch, and he goes, "Why's your mate got 2 beers?" So I looked at the cop and said, "He's fucking thirsty." And he goes, "Go and just park your car over there, mate." So I parked the car.
The days when you could get
But you know what? He
away
never breath tested me. He goes, "Should I breath test you? Have you been drinking?" And I said, "No, mate." And he goes, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sure." And he goes, "Righto." So he starts filling out paperwork, everything else. He goes, "I was going to find me, right?" And then he asked me again, he goes, "Should I breath test you? Have you been drinking?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sure." So then he goes, "All right, my shift finishes at this time. If I see your car's gone," and he goes, "You're gone." So anyway, I hopped in, me and my mate started walking down Port Road and we got past Coca-Cola there. And then the cops come up, right? And I thought, now what do these fuckers want, right? And it was the same blokes. And he looks at me and he goes, "Good to see you walking, mate. Take it easy like this." And you know what? I never heard a thing about it ever again. The next morning I hopped in my car, grabbed it, boom, drove it straight to work.
Me and my friend jumped on a train, and this when I first came to Australia. And it's funny, right? If you don't admit to shit, man, you can't get done for it, right? Because most people are stupid. They get scared and they admit to it.
Yeah, that's dead right.
So the guy with the tickets comes on the train, and my friend's like, "Oh shit, we didn't buy tickets." I said, "Yeah, all right." So what? He goes, "We're going to get a fine." So I knew this kid called JJ, but I don't know his name. Right? So that's the first thing I thought. I'm going to give this guy's name just to get away with it. And he looks at me. I was like, fucking full foreign, right? Fuck all English. He goes, "Ticket?" I said, "No ticket." So he wants to write me a ticket. He goes, "What's your name?" I said, "I'm thinking of JJ, right?" I said, "Jean." He looks at me, he goes, "Okay, second name." I said, "Jack. John Jack." He goes, "You don't look like a John Jack to me." He wrote me the ticket and he was pissing himself laughing. He goes, "Here you go, John Jack. You have to pay the fine." Meanwhile, my mate next to me, after he just gave his real name, he slammed it and goes, "Fuck," he goes, "Why did I give him my real name?"
Gold.
So yeah, John Jack.
I remember that back in the day with the old trains, the old red hens. You'd see the conductor coming down, you'd be shitting yourself, going, "Geez, dude,
Yeah,
get
but
to the next stop
least,
quick."
that was at least of our worries, mate. Every fucking train station you jumped out, you knew you had beef with that turf, you know. So you stop at Woodville, you know, we had the skinheads and the Asians over there that we fought before and we knew it's on. Then you go down further, you know, Crawdon Park and so on. That was more, you know, what's on your mind, really. You're not thinking fuck about the train guy.
See, I never worried about that. I remember back in the day as well, all the graffiti heads and all the rest of it, you know what I mean?
They were just...
Yeah, I never... Gangs and shit like that, man, that was never me, eh?
You know
graffiti
what it was?
shit like that, I never did any of that.
We fell straight into it, bro. You know, we did. I think we just did. The rivals was between Woodville and Crawdon, you know, so you had all the fucking...
CMF.
Asians. No, the CMS were older boys, older than us. So we're the youngsters that we actually had to, you know, live up to their standards and what they did because we're their young brothers.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, the Asians and the skinheads, go figure, right? They're fucking teamed up together because of the heroin game. So they're both feeding each other. And I thought, how the fuck are you skinhead and an Asian? Right, they're both teamed up against us, which is the Wogs. And that was pretty brutal. And that was around the days of fucking the movie Romper Stomper. And so everyone was, you know, pretty...
Romper stomping.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was pretty hectic.
Fucking hell.
Got into a massive fight at Arndale.
Arndale. I used to push trolleys there. Fuck it, I'll tell you some stories. I might say that for the next episode, actually.
Yeah, it was about 5-6 of us, man, in total. And honestly, we annihilated at least about 20 heads, 25 heads off their fucking heads.
Drugs, man.
No, we were straight, bro. We were straight, good lads coming from Crawdon.
Yeah.
Walking down to Arndale, and obviously there was a couple of chicks that were we knew from school, and they were hanging out with those druggies all on the bus stops. A whole fucking crew of them, man. They're all like rabbits. And someone turned around, said my name, and go, "Oh, Abraham." So we were like, you know, probably about 80 meters, 100 meters away. But you can see the way he said it. You can see it's okay. Here we go. He goes, "Come here." So me and the lads all looked at each other. We were just fucking hyped up. We were just taking photos with machetes and shit down at the park. And we still had our machetes on us, right? All fucking sparring. So we're pretty hyped up as it is. But we were all like 15s, you know, 15-year-olds, all year 10s. These guys were all in their 20s, peeled off their fucking heads, you know, all skaggers, no families, nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So I stood there when he said that. I said, "Well, fucking whoever wants me can come here." I didn't walk into their fucking den. You know, we stood there, like we called him out. So obviously he would have looked like a shit cunt if he told his mates to walk with him. So it was like a standoff. Anyway, we walked through the shopping centre. We thought, fuck him. You know, we'll keep going through the shopping centre. Went in and we bumped into my friend that was with me. We bumped into his brother and his mate inside. So well, 5 of us, but only 3 of us really that fought from those 5. But lucky we bumped into my friend's brother and his mate, which was a few years older than us, inside the shopping centre. And my friend's brother was a kickboxer as well, fucking little nutter. And his mate wasn't short of crazy either. So we're like, "Hey, those guys just tried to start trouble outside, we think." So he didn't fuck about. He looks at his mate and goes, "You in the mood to fucking cave some heads in?" He goes, "Yeah." So we go, "Meet us around the car park," exactly where they are. So they drove around.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. We all got there, and so they started testing the water. He walks up to me, I had a smoke in my mouth. The same guy that called my name.
Yeah.
You know? And you can start hearing, bro, like beer bottles. They were all drinking fucking long neck beer bottles. They started smashing against the walls. And you can see just they started fucking recruiting. He walks up to me and goes, "You got a smoke?" I had a smoke in my mouth. I said, "Nah." My other mate, "You got a smoke?" "Nah." By that time, my mate's brother and his mate rocked up. And so he walked up to not my mate's brother, to his mate.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You got a smoke?" Before he finished it, he copped a headbutt straight in the fucking nose. Right? And it was on, man, for young and old. Man, at least 2-3 people against each one of us. So it was pretty fucking hectic. It was one of my first gang fights. You know, you used to take one person on, but when, you know, you've got beer bottles and knives and you can't cover your back. And
Machetes.
well, we had the machetes, but
How'd you go with that, mate? Did you take a few heads off, did you? I don't know, we best not go down that
yeah.
road.
So I pulled it out because there was too many, man. After fucking, you know, hit one guy, roundhoused another guy in the fucking head, and I tripped another fucking cunt over, and then
You said the C word this time, yes.
and then the security guards
Yeah.
came out to the car park. They were pretty roughies, man, under security guards, you know. So they mistook us because we had, you know, a couple of my mates had shaved heads. So they mistook us for those junkies as well. So the security guards, all beefed up on steroids, fucking trying to attack 15 and they were riding their bikes, man, like full belt and trying to kick us in the back, you know, in the car park. So that's when I pulled the machete out.
Well, you down in the underground car park?
Nah, outside car park.
Yeah.
Across the road. So that's when I pulled the machete out and fucking I had the security guys on standby. They're like, oh, watch out, he's got a fucking knife. So fuck off. And I didn't want to hit him, but I took a swing just to fucking tell him, you know, just back off, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Well, the time you see, man, I swear to God, it was all of us lads still standing up. And those, you know, it was fun bashing para heads because they thought they're tough, but one slap and they've fucking got no legs and they're on the ground. So it was a good practice for us. By the time you know it, all right, everyone's all right. Run off. As we're running off, you can just hear sirens again, fucking cops, ambulance. They closed down, it was a Thursday night. I think, got shut down that day about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
They shut the whole complex down.
Yeah, man, it was full on, bro. It was full on. It was not safe.
Bloody hell.
So they were called the Park Boys from the parks.
Oh, they're back, on the northern side. Yeah.
And a few of the fucking Asians.
Because I went to the Parks Community Centre as an adult re-entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. No real fuckheads or anything like that.
So as we all running off, my friend realised, he goes, my cousin, he's not with us.
Uh-oh.
Right? So I looked at him. He goes, look, you're probably the worst out of all of us because I had the machete and the cops, you know, would have been after me. He goes, you know, you go, because I have to. He was a ballsy little shit, man. He actually, you know, said, I'm going back for my cousin.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm not letting you go by yourself. We're all going back together.
Yeah.
You know? So none of the cunts that were running with us wanted to turn back. They kept running.
Yeah.
And me and him, bro, fucking actually ran back.
And?
As we're running back, we bumped into his brother and his mate.
Yeah.
Right? And they said, no, come on, go, keep going.
Where's his cousin?
The security guards grabbed him.
Oh, these are his problems.
Yeah, so at least we knew he's safe. He's with
yeah.
the security guards. He's not in the hands of the others.
Yeah.
But credit to, you know, his cousin. He turned back for him.
Fucking hell.
And I'll never let him go by himself. I'll turn back with him.
Good on you, mate. Noble.
Yeah, so went back and cut story short, that's when the rivalry happened between us and all those guys down there. Interesting times.
It started with a kiss.
Literally. I shit you not, I swear to God, the same guy copped 3 headbutts before it was on.
3.
3 fucking headbutts.
If you didn't learn from the first one, here's another 2, mate.
Well, he's a fucking dumb drunk idiots, man.
Yeah.
That was
Abe and his stories.
Oh fuck.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, we got to wrap this up. We're well over time. We actually promised one of our viewers that we'd only do 15, 20 minute segments, but yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. So we apologise, mate. We apologise.
You know what? 2 things. Number 1, because we don't want to edit and you know, start doing a bit of a plastic surgery to our videos and make it look appealing. I think our stories should be appealing as it is. It's raw.
Yeah.
And, you know, we get it. They're long videos. And look, I know not everyone has got 40 minutes and you know, 50 minutes in a day to watch the whole video.
In your car. When you're cooking dinner, you can always get the headphones on.
Yeah, you can stop, pause, you know, watch later.
Yeah,
unless you really just want to look at me or look at Paulie, then it's different, you know, you can watch. But we get it, right? I know the shorter the videos are, the more you guys are going to be watching it, because, everyone would have 10, 15 minutes, but
Yeah, that's right.
to ask for 50 minutes is a lot. So we do appreciate, obviously, anyone, man, that watches these videos, because we know it's a lot of your time. So to anyone that watches our videos and comments, hats off. Thank you so much. We love yous.
Absolutely. And yeah, we do love yous. Thank you so much. And as per usual, if you want to leave a comment below, please do. If there's a topic of conversation that you'd love us to talk about, we'd be more than happy to talk about it. And for our podcast listeners, if you want to get in touch with us, it is the prophecy, one word, at outlook.com.au.
.au now.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to leave a comment. Please like, share, and subscribe. Abe, don't forget
Click
to
that button.
ring that bell.
Ring the bell.
And thank you once again, guys. We love you. Chat soon.
See you guys.